everyone, I'm Melanie with Painting Crafty, and welcome to today's collaboration called What Would You Make? We have two hosts today, Brenda and Connie. Connie is with Workshop and DIY. Brenda's channel is called Rustic and Lace DIYs. We also have a special guest host today, Amy with Creatively Expressive. Now their descriptions to their channels is inside of the description box, and you're going to want to click the playlist because that's where you're going to find all of the other creatives who have participated in today's collaboration. Now today's collaboration is all about what you might make with wood. On my channel, I teach drawing and watercolor, acrylics, mixed media. I like all the things, just like everybody else likes all the things. And often when people create, they keep them in their sketchbooks and they don't ever bring them out and share them after they create them. And I wanted to give a creative solution of maybe some simple things that you could find, a wooden frame at your Dollar Tree or Dollar General store, and make it into an exchangeable frame to be able to show some of the things that you might create and might want to display or give as a gift even. Now the frames you're going to be looking for are fairly easy to find at your Dollar General or Dollar Tree stores. You're going to want to find a frame that you normally paint. Now when I do my pictures, I always do 6x6 square, but it could be any size that you want to. Just kind of keep in mind that you're going to be looking for a frame that might fit some of the paintings that or drawings that you would do. So the frames that you want to look for are these inexpensive wood frames. They're pretty easy to find, and they usually have a masonite back. Masonite makes a perfect sturdy little back, better than cardboard, to be able to mount something on. So you're going to want to look for a frame that does not have any nails in it. You're looking for one that's just glued, because if it's glued, you can always take a hot tool like a heat gun and warm that back area up and then gently remove that piece. And that's what you're going to want to do, because removing it is so much easier than trying to cut the paper to match exactly to fit inside. So by removing it, you can easily use it then as a way to be able to display different papers in the background too. Now you could just paint it a plain color if you wanted to. That's always an option. But I wanted to be able to make it a little bit more festive, change it with the seasons if I wanted to, and create something interesting like that. So once you have the back removed, then what you're going to need to do is I had to figure out a way of how I wanted to mount my drawings. Now I do a lot of watercolor. So watercolor is done on paper, and often watercolor is when you do it to sell it or to have a professional one, you would, a lot of times they are underneath glass, and I didn't want to spend money on glass. I wanted to just figure out a simple way to do it. So one way you can seal your little pictures is to just use a polyacrylic spray. Just make sure it's a little farther away so it doesn't saturate your color all the way, and then you could spray it. You could also wax your watercolors as well. I like using Annie Salone wax. It's a wax, so it's not going to disturb your watercolor at all. It's not a water-based material. So those are two different options that you can use to seal them. But then again, if you're not really going to worry about it or nobody's really going to touch it, you don't even really have to seal them. If they're just going to be temporary and you're just hanging something up to enjoy it for a while, make it simple, whatever might work for you. So once I had this part done, I wanted to put something a little prettier in the back. So I found, you know, there's all kinds of different papers that you could use, but the ones that are a little bit heavier cardstock make for a nice background. So what I did is I just include whatever might look good for your item. And I liked this little print on here. It has a bunch of little fun words on it. But you can also do ones that might be seasonal, or take a look at what your pictures might be. So what you do is you just choose out your paper that you want, have that off to the side, and we're going to talk about that frame in just a little bit more detail and a little bit more in a little while. But I needed to figure out something that I could mount my little pictures on. Cardboard was a good solution. We all have cardboard sitting around. Now there was a couple ways that I could mount my pictures on here. There was one way I could use was the Gorilla, well, they could be anyone, but the poster board that you would, it's not permanent. These aren't a permanent tacking thing, but I wanted to be able to take them off and not make them permanent. But if you wanted to make them permanent, you could just glue this with a spray glue. You could make it on there, or even use a little bit of Mod Podge if you wanted to. Although I think the spray glue would probably work better on cardboard. So what you would do is you would just stick this on the back, and then I cut my cardboard to match of whatever size that your drawing might be. And then I just stuck that on there. So that way it would be temporary and not necessarily permanent. Now there is other options as well. I found that these glue dots work really easily. And they are not permanent. You can have permanent ones or non-permanent, which might be a really great solution too. If you wanted to make something more permanent, you could use a permanent one of these. But I wanted to make it temporary, so I could just hold my paper down. Oh, that one I also have it on there. Let's try a different one. We've been doing this farm series on my channel this month. It's been super fun. We've been doing some whimsical animals. I love to do whimsical animals. And there's just something so special about little animals that have clothes on it that just make my heart sing. And I love, I love doing them, and I love sharing them with the others. There's quite a few that come on and draw along with me and paint. And it's always so wonderful to see what they come up with, because we all have different ideas and they encourage each other to try new things. So it's a fun group to come on over. Welcome you to my channel anytime you would like to come on over. Now these were the ones that we did for our birthday flowers, and we've been doing the birthday of the month. Did you know there was such a thing as a flower for every month? Well, this one I believe was for the month of, I'm not for sure. I can't remember if it was if it was April or May. We'll do one coming up here soon for the month of June. Well, because we try to keep a month ahead, so in case somebody would like to give it as a gift, they can actually do them early and they will have those. So that's the idea of putting it on cardboard, because watercolor paper is going to probably be a little bit wavy, and you want to be able to have it on some sort of substrate. Now that being said, you could probably have, if you wanted to mount them on a little bit thicker cardstock, that might hold it too, just depending on how permanent that you really want to have it. But I wanted to, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to make them interchangeable, so you could pop in things maybe seasonally, or just display your things temporarily and then be able to take them in and out. If you work and have a cubicle, this would be a great little way to have that, or in your little crafting space to have some of your art out and share it. So that was my idea for that part. Now I needed to figure out a way to hang it or put it on my frame. I thought about using magnets, and I tried magnets, and all I did was use the ones from the dollar store, and they didn't really, there was really no hold to them at all. So I needed to come up with a different solution. So what I thought of is attaching one of these metal clips. I found these at the Dollar General store. They're just a metal clip. I'm sure they're easily found any place, but I wanted to drill a hole in the top to be able to connect this part to a little bit of string. And the way I got that idea was from the back of this. They hung them up with a packing string and hung pictures up, and then I thought that would be a great idea. So I ended up just drilling a hole in there. I found the center by just using a ruler, drilling a hole in the middle and making sure that this was centered as well. And then that way I could easily exchange the whatever might be for ribbon for a seasonal thing. So once it was Christmas, I could do Christmas or fall or whatever it might be. I could add those on there. Often when I do my drawings, and I use a little bit of pen work on them. So there's often black that's always included in my drawing. So I thought the black and white packing string worked perfectly. Now, after playing with this a little bit, I'm trying to find a way that would make it easier to put together. As I would suggest that you go ahead and mount your items on your cardboard, however you would like that done. Drill your holes, get your setup this way, then go ahead and put your piece on. It's so much easier to get the clips on if there isn't anything in the background. So you could move your hand through there, give it a clip, find your center. You got a little room to wiggle on there. So you have it on there. Now's the time to put your backing on. So you can choose whatever you might want. So there's so many great papers out there. I'm going to try this golden one and see. So we have our on like that. Oh, I did forget to say one thing too. I wanted it to sit a little ways away from the back. I didn't want it to be flat on the back. I wanted to add a little bit of dimension. So I ended up gluing some of the Scrabble tiles on the back of my cardboard just to be able to have it stand away a little ways. Now I can put my paper on easy enough. Like that, and then I can slip my back right back on there. have it on there. Now there is a way to be able to tack it on. I'm going to be using a little bit more of that poster tacking material that I had talked about earlier that you could use to attach it to your cardboard. I'm going to take a little bit of that and I'm going to shove it into the corners. And the reason why I'm using this is because it is temporary. It's not going to be permanent, and I can easily remove it and change the background again when I need to change my background. So I'm just going to pop a little bit in each corner. Then when I turn it over, now look at how cute that is. So you could have a set of these. So we're doing a series, I had said earlier, with our farm animals. So you could do a set of these and have a set of these hanging up someplace. It would look absolutely precious. Or you could give it as a gift and it would look darling. Now, when the season's over and it's time to change, you could just do the reverse. So take your little stickies out. They come out really easily, and they would, that's why they're temporary, but they work real easily. Now you can come in, pop this back out. And I also wanted to say that if you didn't want to put yours on cardboard and mess with that, you could always use a card stock that's a little bit heavier. So this one's got a little bit heavier texture to it. So it would hold a little bit better. You could also do spray glue on the back of this and get this to attach really well. On this one, I just used that little roller of the temporary tape, but you could put spray glue on the back of this, put a heavy book on it. It would adhere really, really well, and it would be a little bit stiffer and hold well. But again, you could go ahead, clip this on the front. Now this size was a little bit smaller. That's why I decided to add the extra paper behind it. It wasn't quite a 6x6. It was smaller drawing. And so I added a little piece of paper on the back to be able to beef it up a little bit to create and fit into the size that I wanted to. Now I can go ahead and slip my paper in. She's gonna look so cute. She's another drawing that we did together. So I do a lot of different seasonal items. I love whimsical. It's kind of my thing. Okay, and so there she is, cute as can be. So it's the same frame, the same clip, the same ribbon. You don't even have to change it out if you didn't want to. You could use the same ribbon and have it make a little wonderful little display box. Get yourself a couple of them. They're pretty reasonably priced. You could easily make a grouping and then have your fall items for your fall. This one is cute as could be. I didn't put the ribbon in this one though. But there's one that's golden, this one. And then you can just start interchanging and having a couple of them hang together. It's a simple way to display your things. Get your artwork out, get your scraps. Even if you do mixed media and you're doing it all glue and paper, cut them at the end, cut them out of your sketchbooks, mount them on some paper. If that's what you'd like to do, is just mount them on paper, or the cardboard is a great solution too. It adds a little bit more strength to them. And you can create a simple way to hang your things and keep them out and enjoy them and share them with others. Art isn't for just some, it's for everyone to enjoy. We just have to create and take the time to do it. Well, thanks so much for joining in to today's collaboration. Come on over to my page, Painting Crafty, see what I do. Like I said, I usually do 2 drawing classes and painting classes a week. Lots there to learn, and it's a great place for beginners. Everybody, all abilities are welcome to join in the art fun. Thanks everyone, and make sure you click that playlist and come on over and see what everyone else is doing. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I'd so appreciate it. Hit that notification bell too. That's a great way to get notifications for when I put up new videos. Thanks everyone for joining into today's collaboration. Bye now.